I'm McKinney Smith. In 2009, while going through a divorce, I decided to jump straight into entrepreneurship. In 2012, I lost my sister and asked myself, what legacy do I want to leave behind? Since then, I've become a serial entrepreneur, helping other women publish their books, produce their podcasts, and reach their big goals to walk in their greatness. I realized the importance of sharing our stories of resilience and how it can be another's guide to walk in a manner worthy of their calling. We are blessed to be a blessing, so get ready to be blessed with an inspiring testimony. Hey, Legacy Leavers, thank you for joining us in the Walk in My Stilettos podcast, the top 1.5% most popular show in the world, where we have conversations with amazing women that are letting us step into their shoes. I help women to own their voice so they can create impact, prosperity, and legacy. I get inspired when I see another woman succeeding, but what interests me more is her backstory and her mindset on how she got there. So today's guest is about to bless us with her testimony, and since you're already here, you may as well subscribe. Today we have Melanie Durrant. She is an award-winning R&B singer, combining her unique writing style, smooth harmonies, and bold sound. Melanie has helped shape Canada's diverse soundscape. The 3-time Juno nominated artist travels the country, headlining festivals and working alongside Canada's top artists. Melanie is also no stranger to international audiences, taking the stage with Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Alicia Keys, David Banner, Jill Scott, Common, and much more. So please welcome to the show, Melanie Durant.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
everybody. How are you doing this morning?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good. I'm awake. I've painted myself awake. It's a good day. When in doubt, put on lots of makeup.
I love it. And for those who are listening, I am looking at Melanie right now. She is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love her hair. She is just glowing. So although she's tired, she is glowing.
Oh my goodness.
I love to start the show with an icebreaker question though, because I love to get to know who you were before you got to where you are today. I believe, like, you know, as kids, we have these vivid imaginations of who we want to be and what we want to do when we grow up and all these things. And then society starts to limit our beliefs and tell us to be realistic. And even people who love us limit what we say we want to be and what we want to do. So before you got to where you are presently, I would love to know, what did you want to be as a little girl?
A singer, always 100%. I sang in kindergarten for show and tell. I was the angel on the Christmas tree in the pageant, which was my first solo. And I sang in church. And my mom is a singer and always has been a singer, hasn't done anything but. So, I mean, we do a show together and we get on stage. Tina Turner, Donna Summer, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Aretha Franklin, some Whitney Houston. Did I see Aretha Franklin? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Martha Reeves. We do a bunch of stuff, different shows for different situations. We have the Lovely Ladies of Soul. We have Simply the Best, which is the Tina Turner show. And then we have a mashup of 3 45-minute sets that we do for casinos, corporate parties, and like the whole shebang, Christmas parties. We do a lot of work in the States and festivals and stuff here. And we've been to Japan. You know, there's planes with Pikachu on them in Japan, like all Japanimation. Like you're looking out the window, like, this is awesome. Like drinking it all in with your eyes. Traveling's amazing. And I 100% miss traveling. And I 100% miss the crowds because we're not back to normal life by any means. Vaccinated or unvaccinated, nobody's got their lives back. So, I mean, I'm excited for when it finally happens. And we have been called for shows and stuff like that. But when we don't know what's going on over the border. We don't know what we're going to encounter trying to cross the border. Crossing the border has not been the same since 9/11.
Right.
It's just gone total haywire. And they went from waving at us and asking us to sing for them to up against the wall. It's like, whoa, that got intense. Meanwhile, they've been seeing us for years coming through. And I used to be, here comes Tina. Hey, Miss Melanie. And then, no. Same people, but with a different supervisor. Just looking like, we're sorry, is in their eyes is, we're sorry, but we can't do nothing. It's like,
Wow.
okay, no problem, follow the rules, but it's like it's getting worse. So it's like, if crossing the border is giving us anxiety, and nobody want to do that. It's like, we're going to have fun after we're terrorized, okay? It'll be fine after we're terrorized.
Yeah, it totally messes with the vibe, messes with the energy.
100%. Performing is 100% energy. You give and you get back, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're in a bad space, what are you giving the audience, right?
Exactly. It's the same with like public speaking and stuff like that. It's the energy. I totally get it. But I love the fact that you've always wanted to be a singer and you're still doing that today. You haven't let society or other people or anything deter you from your dreams and your passion. Like, I absolutely love that. Like,
Thank you.
I recall reading when you were a little girl that you used to open for your mom.
Yes. Yes.
What was that like?
Well, when I was a little girl, my mom would be doing a lot of clubs and bars and stuff like that. And when she did like a dinner situation a few times where I was allowed to come, because it wasn't just a bar, she said, come on, do you want to introduce the show? And I must have been brave, because I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And I took the mic and I was like, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Miss Carrie Durant. It's like I was doing the Muppet Show or something. Like, I didn't put it into perspective what I was doing, but I was like, I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to announce my mom. And here we go. You know, the excitement and the innocence of a child. Yeah. I remember that feeling, and I remember doing it, and I remember trying to deliver what I was feeling inside. So I guess knowing that, I think I did a good job.
I love it.
But I might be biased. You know, I am talking about myself. It's like, I was amazing. You should have saw me.
Yeah, but I'm sure that required like some type of, well, obviously it required courage, even as a little girl, to get up there in front of other people. Like, I'm someone, as much as I do public speaking now and I'm able to be on stage, that took a lot. And I still get anxiety when I have to do that. So I wasn't always that way. So for you to, start out that way and then just gain that comfort of being on stage and being in front of others and entertaining and connecting with the energy, like that's a big deal.
You know what? I did start off that way, and then it started to go down. I actually am very shy by nature. And I don't really like to talk to people. I mean, I'm better now as an adult, but I know that I remember my mom taking me for donuts, and her getting me out of my shell was her telling me that if I wanted another donut, I had to go ask the lady for it. And I remember breaking down into tears because I was so afraid. And at this point, I was like maybe 13. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I didn't want to talk to anybody. But you know what? Being a child that sings is very hard, or a child who's in any kind of entertainment, and you're outgoing, and because at first the kids are they gravitate towards you and they want to be your friend, and then they discover what you can do, and then you turn into the show off and everybody hates you. Oh, they're a show off. Like, kids are brutal. Yeah. So then you start to go into yourself like, oh, I'm doing too much. But meanwhile, they asked you to do this in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So it was tough, and it took a while to get back my confidence. I think I was a teenager at the time. Yeah, I must have been, if I was crying at 13 because I didn't want to ask for donuts. But it took a while. And you know what? There is different situations where you become afraid and you get stage fright, but your body will handle it in different ways. Like, I remember doing a show and I did everything I was supposed to do, but my knees were wobbling, and I didn't realize it until afterwards when actually Divine Brown, sorry, at the time, but Divine Brown was in the show, and she was playing bass. I don't know who knows this, but she plays bass. She's a really great person, great musician, wonderful friend. But she says, watch how Melanie leg them a knock. I was like, oh my God. She told me after. She goes, that was hilarious, bro. Oh my gosh. But wow. I didn't know. I just went through the motions, but it was the Roy Thompson Hall? Mm-hmm. And it was a huge theater, a huge audience. And I'm not singing backup for my mom at this point. I'm doing originals and covers, and, it was a showcase. I mean, I knew what I was supposed to do. I sang for people before, but to actually get out there and deliver by myself, mm-hmm. There's a band, but the band's back there. They're not they stand behind you, not beside you or in front of you.
Right.
You are the front person. And it was one of the first times that I was doing it totally alone. It freaked me out.
So
but
tell us.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell except for the knees.
So you said you went through that phase where, the confidence went down and you were able to build it back up. Was there anything in particular that you felt that you had to do to regain that confidence?
I think it was experience is what really, the more you do it, the more you get comfortable and you start to listen to your body, and listen to, what's next. I think everybody's different and everybody's body deals with things differently. Nerves is very interesting and intricate. At first it was my stomach and a little bit of anxiety in my chest, and anticipation of getting on the stage and what's going to happen, because there's no script that you can make that's going to carry you through. Things are going to happen where you have to actually be in the moment, acknowledge what's happened, and just forget the script. Scripts can come off as contrived and whatnot. You just got to be yourself and share yourself. And that way you're going to go over because people's going to connect with your realness and your honesty.
Yeah.
So I had to just kind of stop worrying about what might happen and stop worrying about, the first initial moment where you get on stage, and just do my thing. Because I had noticed that at first the fear and anxiety took me where my stomach was flip-flopping and I was like, I got to go to the bathroom. And so I'd go in the bathroom, and you really don't got to go. It's just your stomach freaking out. But if you go in that bathroom, you ain't coming out. So you're never coming out. So it's like, okay, that's what my body said. Ignore it. It's not real. Right. Yeah. So there's just different things and different ways. And I think different ways that your body tries to reroute and figure out how to cope with the situation, because audiences get bigger and bigger and bigger the more you do, and suddenly you're in front of thousands and oceans of people and they're all looking at you and you come out like, hello guys. Oh my gosh. It's one of the things I used to talk in a really high voice, but my natural voice is pretty high. But when you get nervous, when I got nervous, it got just a little bit higher. And I'd be like, hey, everybody. And my mom was like, I can't understand you. You can't talk with a high voice. I had to learn to lower it and relax and try to ground it and speak a little lower than I would normally speak.
Right.
Otherwise, I wasn't being understood. I could be saying the coolest stuff and the audience be like, what? What did you say? Whatever. You'll lose your audience if you're not connecting with them. If they can't hear you, you're still not connecting with them. It doesn't matter if the sound is right. You're not connecting.
Yeah. So you said, you had to keep doing it to be able to build that confidence. So I always say that your confidence is built through your competence. So I know for me, the first time I do something, I'm terrified because I've never done it before. Right. And then you start to do a little bit more and you get anxious, but you're not fully comfortable in it. Right. Because it's change. And then once you start doing it over and over again, because you know what you're doing, it helps you to build that confidence in what you're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I love that. That. You're bang on with that. Did I use that? Is it copywritten?
No, go ahead. Go use it. Use it.
Thank you.
I don't even know where I got it from.
So one more time for the kids in the back.
Your confidence is built through your competence. Yeah, even as you were speaking about the anxiety. So I was diagnosed with anxiety back in 2006 or 8. I can't remember. But I can totally relate to everything you're saying about, your stomach turning and, flip-flopping and you feel like you have to go to the bathroom. I still get that even just before I go to record every single podcast episode, even though I've been doing this for 200 episodes now. It's you know what I mean? That anxiety.
I 100% know.
Right?
Sorry to interrupt. Yes,
I
100% know. It took a long time to get over that and to realize kind of what's happening. And I think once I got a little bit of acceptance, and then I realized you don't have to go to the back, just calm down. It's okay. Try to talk yourself down mentally. And even if you have to do it out loud, who cares? Because you got a job to do. Whoever's judging you, who cares? Judge them back.
So what advice would you give to a woman that's listening right now that's struggling with anxiety?
Burn a bay leaf or 2 or 10. Burn the whole bag. It helps you relax. Have a tea. Just, listen to some, I was going to say self-help video, not videos. Well, videos if they're on YouTube, you know what I mean? Anything that's giving you positive messages and positive affirmations. You have to be comfortable within your own skin and realize that you are your best you. You're perfect the way you are. You're beautiful. You're one of a kind, and you have something to offer that nobody else does.
Okay, so I love that last part. You have something to offer that nobody else does, especially because 95% of the women that I coach, or people that I coach, are women. And we all seem to struggle with that self-image, or that little voice inside that makes us feel like we're not enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's reminding women that the world would not be the same place without you, that you matter. If you were not here, the world would be a completely different place. You know, they talk about the butterfly effect, you know, a butterfly flapping its wings in some other part of the world, how it affects, you know, whether it's the weather or whatever on the other side of the world. Like, our energy and who we are totally matters. So I love that last part of what you said.
Oh, well, thank you. It was just a moment. I don't know what I said.
Okay, so tell us how you got to where you are today. Like, walk us through, I guess, the Coles Notes version of how you got to where you are presently.
Okay, well, we can go back to my first album, and the song was called Where I'm Going. And I wrote, I'm going to get to where I'm going. Slowly but surely, I'm gonna. And every once in a while, I look back and I wish that instead of slowly but surely, I said really, really fast. You know, because words have power, and you have to realize that words really do have power. Going back to self-confidence, if you say, oh, I feel ugly, or I look ugly, I don't like my eyebrows, words have power. And you have to embrace who you are and what you have and your journey, because it's part of progressing and moving forward in life in general, not just in your job or, you know, whatever else is going on in your life, your relationship. You just got to be yourself and take your time and embrace each moment, because life is a journey. Mm-hmm. And success is a journey, not a destination. That's what I was going to say. Mm-hmm. Success is a journey, not a destination. So you have to stop and smell the flowers and realize where you are right now. A lot of people try to look to the future or be upset about the past, and you have no control over any of that. If that's already happened, you have no control. You only mm-hmm. have what's going on now, and the steps of now take you into later. So if you want to be happy with later, embrace the now.
Love it.
Did I get off topic? I'm so sorry. What was the question? I told you you'd have to tell me to be quiet.
No, it's all good. Like, honestly, everything you just said, like, I can totally resonate with. And even when you said words have power, I'm a huge believer in affirmations. And, you know, sometimes we may not believe the words as we're saying it, but if you repeat it enough, because our subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not. So you can basically trick yourself into believing things using words, right? So sometimes we say these negative things, or we say, I'm going to say these unhealthy things, not realizing how much power our words have. So when you said that words have power, it made me think about a podcast episode that I listened to. I think it was Jay Shetty, and I can't remember who he was interviewing, but I think she was a model or an actress. And she was talking about what she learned from her mom at a young age about the power of positive words and positive self-talk. And her mother, you know, was into, I'm going to say, different beliefs. So, you know, mixing Buddhist beliefs with Christian beliefs and Muslim beliefs. So she was, you know, believed different parts of everything. And she taught her daughter that the reason that words have power, she was saying that that's why it's called spells, because it's spelling, right? It's words.
That's right. When you write it down, you're spelling. That's right.
The power
that's in the Bible.
Words. Yes. There we go. Yes. At a total right moment, you brought me right back. Yes.
Right. And actually, if you go back to, remember in the schoolyard, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Mm-hmm. It's not true. It's not true. It was a defense mechanism that was totally false, that they tried to have us believing, you know. Yeah. But, you know, as soon as the kid says, oh, you're this or you're that, you totally fall to pieces. Exactly. You know, you're ugly on sticks and stones.
Yeah, exactly.
You're falling apart, right? But you're like, I'm going to say this nursery rhyme that's not really making me feel better, but
Right.
I'm going to
Well, there's
sing
a
it.
lot that we had to unlearn that we learned as kids, right? The things
Yes.
that we were taught to try to make us act or do
Better.
differently that wasn't
Yes.
true. And I, like when you just said, even that example you just used, it's like I'm totally resonating with you this morning, because I actually tweeted that maybe a month or so ago about the sticks and stones thing not being true, because words do have power.
Yes, they
Like,
do.
I remember one of my daughters as a little girl, I think maybe in grade 2 or 3, came home from school crying because some girl at school called her the B word. And it hurt her so deeply. And I was like, well, are you? And she's like, no. And I said, then don't give her that power,
The power,
over you to label you anything that you're not. But words do have power. They affect how we feel.
100%. Isn't it the worst when your kid comes home crying and you have to undo the mess that was done at school? It's like, oh my gosh. That's what I said, kids are brutal.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a daughter. And when she came home from school and kids were trying to bother her or bully her, I taught her how to freestyle poems and raps and make up stuff on the second. Because we had been singing and stuff like that at home for no reason. I freestyled to her. She's like, I don't want to clean my room. It's like, you better do it. So that was normal for us. So I taught her how to put that into it. It's like, now she's dangerous.
Come back,
it's
please.
like, oh yeah, you don't want to mess with me. She sings too. She sings, she raps, she insults. Amazing.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're talking about words have power. So what would you say your superpower is?
Loving people. I don't mean romantically loving people. I just mean loving people who are genuine. Yes. And who are genuine to you, who uplift you, who you could just see that they're a good person and their aura is filling the room. You could just see them, they're glowing and they're so nice and kind to you. You just want to give them kindness. It's like you just want to help them. It's like, okay, what's ailing you? Because I'm a superhero, I could fix anything. And I don't mean flying and this and that. It's like, okay, I'll help you organize your stuff. I'll help you. You know what I mean? I'm a helper. I'm an empath. I know it. And it's a bad thing and a good thing altogether. I mean, I think that it's a good thing, but certain personalities will take advantage of you because they see your kindness and they want to bask in your light. So they will take advantage of you and try to take it from you. But we always have to remember that your light belongs to you.
Yes.
Nobody can take it from you. They can try to cast a shadow on it, but you're the light. Yes. So you're going to drown their shadow out. Be good to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Don't let somebody hurting you make you act differently because they've won. Yes. Just realize that person doesn't deserve to stand in your light. And that's what I've learned in life to this day.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm saying I'm resonating completely with you this morning. Like everything you're saying, I can totally relate. And I know that the women listening are going to be able to relate, because I feel like a lot of the women that listen are very similar to myself. And I'm listening to you now. I'm like, yes, I'm an empath too. Yes. Like I'm introverted too. Yes. Like I get it. I totally get you.
I love that. I love that.
So how do you stay motivated?
That's really hard. And that's a loaded question because I'm not always motivated. I mean, that's actually not true. I'm not always motivated to write music, but I might be motivated to do my hair. I might be motivated to style an outfit or to clean the kitchen or to clean my room or reorganize my closet. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just depends on what's motivating me within the moment. Mm-hmm. So going back to the question, did you mean motivate me musically to work?
I guess maybe in general, because you're a beautiful spirit. I can see that, like you're beautiful inside and out. So sometimes, life may come at us and we don't know how to deal. And then we get defeated and we go into this mode and stay in this depressive state. But I can see the inner beauty in you and your superpower being love. Like, how do you stay motivated? What keeps you going?
I think love also keeps me motivated. When you feel down or disappointed by somebody and say your child comes in and says, oh, mommy, I love you, or they don't even have to say anything. They just do something and you look at them and you see their reflection of yourself or your maid or your mom, somebody in your family. And you're just looking at them like, look how far you've come. There's things that'll take your mind out of the negative and into the positive, which goes back to me saying, live in the now. When you're feeling crappy, live in the now, take it in, drink it in, smell the flowers, right? Yeah. Because there's, as much as there might be something bad happening, there's so many good things around. So I try to embrace the good things. When I'm thinking positively, like nobody's perfect. Of course, you're going to have the moments of, oh, my eyebrows came out wrong. My nails busted. I'm mad. Everything's going wrong. But like those things are superficial. Like in realistically in the now, I'm alive. I'm healthy. I still have eyelashes, even though we've been in quarantine for 2 years. Yay to stocking up on eyelashes. I've made it. I've still got a bucket. But embrace the positive, right? We went into lockdown, whatnot. I organized the canteen. I organized the cupboard there. I organized the linen closet. Everything's folded. It's perfect. I did this room, which was a bomb before, and it's only half a bomb now. So, so you can only see the good side, but perception is everything, right?
Yeah. Okay. So tell us, how has your journey changed since the pandemic? Has it affected your purpose? Like I know you love to sing, and we talked about you, the traveling not being the same and things like that, but how has it affected you in general?
I miss the audiences. I've had withdrawal. I didn't really like the pandemic itself hasn't been no thing. It's been a cakewalk for me. I'm a hermit. I don't go anywhere anyway. They're like, stay home. I'm like, okay, ain't got to tell me twice. No problem. And I don't really go out here and there anyways. Like, and I can cook. I can cook anything that I've ever tasted as long as I know what the ingredients kind of are by taste buds, not by labels. Yeah. It's like, and I'll keep adjusting the flavors until it's right. And that's anything I've ever tasted. Not to toot my own horn, but to toot. I'm not going to mention my roti that came out wrong yesterday, but it's okay. Trial and error. Keep going. The curry was banging. But I've just had withdrawal from the energy that you get back from, giving an audience a great show, and they're screaming and they're like freaking out in a positive way because they're having so much fun. When they're having fun, I'm having fun. And I've seen people crying, and I've cried with them because they're so moved. Now I'm moved. It's because there's a sharing of energy, right?
Yeah.
But missing the shows and kind of feeling depressed, especially when the sun was gone. People get depressed, and like I said, vitamin D and the lamp and stuff like that. That's all personal experience stuff that helped me realize. And I tried to watch comedies and, like I said, do positive affirmations and remember to sing around the house. Do something that you love. It's going to make you feel better. You love it for a reason. Yeah. And I didn't realize that I had stopped singing for myself, for myself, to myself, in the shower, in the house, So I had to kind of tune back into that. I still have to. But writing the album and getting full hands-on in it and with the artwork and styling myself and doing my own makeup and my own hair. And my mom helped me with these things. But when you got time, make sure you pay attention to yourself because all these things come back to feeling good about yourself. You feel good when you get your hair done. You feel good when you do your nails. But these little things make you, like when you pass by the mirror, like, hello, okay, there you are. But if you don't do these things and you're in the house and you're just passing by the mirror with your head bonnet on and a robe and whatever, and you catch a glimpse, you're like, oh my goodness. And then you're going downhill from there because you're judging yourself. You haven't done nothing to fix it. Come on, sis, pull it together. Yes. Self-love. It's like, even I had a girlfriend online dress up she's an entertainer, right? Dress up in a full gown and do a video because she was taking out the garbage. I was like, yes, I'm going to put on a sequence gown to take out the garbage too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say we underestimate the importance of showing that same love and attention to ourselves that we show to other people. You talked about your superpower being love. Like, everybody wants to feel loved, right? We all need that. Like, and, I don't force my beliefs on anybody, but I'm going to say I'm a believer. So, when the 10 commandments of like, love God and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. Well, in between that is to love yourself. Right? Yes. We dedicate all this time getting to know other people and to love other people and to know what their likes and dislikes are and, what makes them tick. But then we don't put that same love and attention on ourselves. So 100%. I totally hear what you're saying about, just loving on yourself and doing the things that make you feel good. Like, I'm going to say, I don't think on any scale that I can sing at all, but in the shower, I'm a 9 out of 10 and I sing to feel good when I'm in the shower. I play, uplifting music that makes me feel good. just taking care of myself. And just like you, I'm a hermit. I prefer to stay home, but I make sure like every 2 weeks, I'm getting my hair done and, doing stuff that makes me feel good. So I totally relate to what you're saying.
It's so important. And I feel like when the pandemic started, a lot of us forgot about that because we were too busy hiding and hand sanitizing and wrapping our heads up in bags and stuff. Stuff that we've been told since kindergarten is not good for us. Remember okay, you need to breathe and the plants breathe out this and we breathe in this. So it's like, if we're going to cover our faces all the time, should there not be a plant in the mask there? Like to help us breathe?
Carbon dioxide.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Come on.
I get it.
All of that is weakening our immune systems. So
I agree.
We don't want to get all into that, but yeah.
Okay, so tell us, when and where are you the happiest?
Oh, when and where? On stage. On stage, when I'm singing, when I'm in my element, that's when I feel the best. Honestly, like at the end of a performance and everybody's clapping and enjoying or standing or crying, that is the best. There is no feeling better than that. I've had certain people ask, well, not me, but ask my mom, like, when are you going to retire? And she's like, retire? You don't retire from something you love. She goes, go ask the Stones when they're going to retire. They never they're going to die on stage because they love it so much. And that's not to disrespect them. That is homage and respect to their craft. And they're not looking at what are we making? They're like, no, we're going to rock tonight. They go to the smallest pubs and bars in the world just to perform for a second for the surprise. We're here. We don't need money, but how you doing? Right? It's like a sanity check on their fans. It's like, are you guys dead yet? Because we're not. You ready to rock? Let's go. Right?
Yeah.
Like even Tina Turner finally retired. And the only reason she did is because her show takes a lot of energy, a lot. And to carry that energy over, you have to go into your second mode. You have to reserve a little bit from the first set or song or wherever you're at. The songs are so exciting. It's so hard to not freak out, and the audience is freaking out and you're freaking out inside, but it's like, okay, don't make it so you can't sing and dance anymore. You can't stop and huff and puff and hold your back and say, give me 2 seconds. Wait, right? So when she called for her second win, she said it was more and more difficult to get that second win. And you know what? I would never have understood what she was talking about if we did not do a Tina Turner tribute show, because I've gotten the thing where I've freaked right out and had to pretend that I'm not tired.
The adrenaline.
Yes, the adrenaline is so powerful that you can't control it. You just go where the energy's taking you. You go where the audience energy is taking you, and the band's driving, and everybody is thriving and flourishing off of the energy swirling around the room, and it's so beautiful. So when you say, what do I miss? That's what I miss, and that's the best way I could describe it.
Okay, so tell us about your new single, Bait and Switch. Tell us, like, what inspired that song?
That song is inspired off of a narcissistic personality disorder, and from a victim standpoint. I think we all have, but it's not necessarily. Well, this is a relationship scenario, yes, but narcissists come in all forms and shapes and sizes, colors, everything, right? So it could be your mom, your kid, your man, your grandfather, your grandmother, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin. It could be any of them, anybody, your friend, anybody, right? And I have found that I'm kind of a magnet to these weirdos, the narcissists, because I'm an empath. But like I said, I enjoy helping people. But when you keep helping someone, let's just say someone, we'll narrow it down to one person, and it becomes expected instead of appreciated. And they do little things like you go for lunch and say you're at McDonald's, just, McDonald's, and you're standing there and you're trying to figure out your order. And instead of them ordering their food, they're trying to stand behind you because they want like you to pay for them. It's body language, right? And then you feel obligated. It's like, oh, I'll take care of it. But that's no problem. It's damn McDonald's. But okay, after the 50th times, it's like, you're an adult. I'm not your mom.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Sense of entitlement.
I'm not your mom. Yes.
Yep.
Selfish entitlement.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, after I kind of started realizing what was going on, I had to actually Google why people won't take no for an answer. And when I Googled that, I went down the rabbit hole of Google, and narcissistic personality disorder popped up and narcissistic abuse popped up. And it made me realize about the anxiety I was getting from people pleasing certain people. And that's the thing. You can recognize the kind of narcissist person when they'll ask you the same question over and over because you've said no the first time.
Yeah.
So they'll ask it to you again, different ways to try to get you to do what they want. So people have to learn to take no for an answer, but us empaths have to learn to say no without explanation.
Healthy boundaries.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That way they stop asking. But growing up, you'd think that no was good enough. No is no because it's no. Why do you keep representing this? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They expect you to pay for them. They will steal from you in a heartbeat and feel entitled to it. You owe me. You owe me. Why do I owe you? What do I owe you? And how have you come to this? And why are you trying to convince me when I don't feel like I owe you anything? I've done enough. I did enough. And now I'm actually done. There's no more. It's over. Right? Yeah. But they can't accept that because they want to control you mentally, physically, telling you what they think you should be doing with your time.
It's all about power and control with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's psychotic. And narcissistic personality disorder is one of the only disorders that the victim goes to therapy because the narcissist will never go.
Never. Yeah.
Never, because they'll discredit the therapist. They'll tell you you're crazy.
The gaslighting.
Gaslighting. Yes, exactly. Obviously, you're very familiar with this. But you did say you coach, right?
I do coaching, but I had to do my own healing from, I'm going to say, multiple relationships with complete narcissists. And on my healing journey, discovered that narcs are attracted to empaths because they're attracted to people with strong qualities that they can emulate because they don't have an identity of their own.
That's right.
They don't have the ability to feel that empathy, so they want to mirror yours. They're attracted to people pleasers because it feeds their need for attention. And empaths, us, we grew up to be people pleasers because we started out as being parent pleasers, right? So,
you know what? I would say that because my mom's an entertainer from the age of, was it 5 till about 14. I lived with a babysitter. And, my mom would come and visit and she'd call me and whatever. And we would spend time together when she wasn't on the road, right? Full-time singer, musician. So my babysitter was the one.
Guardian,
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't realize until, like I said, I went down the rabbit hole of looking for why people won't take no for an answer. And then I had to realize within my childhood, the things that I've experienced and the things that she had to try to rewire because I was already wired a certain way, you know, and she had to try to undo that. But which is why when I finally got back to my mom, she had to try to fix what had been undone.
Yeah.
Suddenly I was shy and I was scared and I was, because of what I had endured. But who knew that the babysitter was a narcissist?
Yeah.
I didn't even figure it out until I started reading all this stuff and I'm a full-blown adult.
Yeah. A lot of us don't realize until, when it comes to relationships, most people don't realize while they're in it. They notice it when they come out of it. And a lot of us adults who have experienced it don't realize it until now because now we have that awareness and the knowledge and all of those things. But you look back and you look at, like you said before, whether it be a caregiver or a parent or an aunt or an uncle, when you become aware of the characteristics, then you can reevaluate those personalities and be like, oh my goodness. Like, and as much as narcissistic personality disorder is a actual diagnosis, 99% of them will never be diagnosed because, like you said, they won't go for the help because they think there's nothing wrong with them. It's usually those of us that have experienced the narc abuse who have seen it up close because to the outside world, they have, this perception of they're great, right? They're charismatic. They have this perfect, wonderful personality to everybody else, but it's those that are closest to them that see when the mask comes off.
That's right. And that's where bait and switch comes in because they bait you by being super sweet and kind and love bombing you, like everything's perfect. You can't do no wrong. And then when they switch into their real self and they start devaluing you and disrespecting you and, they're approaching the discard, right?
Yep.
Because either they found somebody else who they've decided, oh, that person's better. But it's like, New source of supply, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who can't see them, somebody who can't call or doesn't call them on their stuff because they don't realize yet.
Right.
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 So now you're the problem. And it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay. So that's where bait and switch came from.
I love
and I'd
it.
be getting sick at the end of it. So you could just forget about your Valentine and you could stick that where the sun don't shine, where the sun don't shine.
I love it. That is now that I know the meaning of the song and where that came from, that is going to be my new anthem. Okay.
I love it. Enjoy it, please. I enjoy singing it.
I love it. I love it.
And that goes back to enjoying my craft again. So I think this album was healing for me to write because of all the research that I did. And I never intended to make like an entire album about narcissistic personality disorder or abuse or whatever, but it's what it turned into. I think it's like one song or two songs that aren't really about that. Mm-hmm. But there's just so much to know and so much to learn. And, I found myself storytelling about it. And it's different situations compiled into separate little stories. Like none of the stories are like 100% about me and what I've gone through, like in a whole, you know what I mean? It's just stories of things that I've experienced. And we've all had like girlfriends and we've seen falling apart. And the guy does something crazy and she's trying to accept it and feel and figure out how to feel herself again after enduring this. And it's like, now we know that was a narcissist. He's sucking all your energy. It's not your fault.
Energy vampires.
So it goes back to look at yourself. Look at yourself. Search in yourself. Put your makeup on. Do your nails. Feel good about yourself because that's going to start you feeling better in a whole from the jump. And then it's just going to get better and better and better from there.
Absolutely. I 1000% agree. After I went on my healing journey, I had to really delve deep into self-care. And that's where I, ended up creating this really intense self-care routine that I do every single day that's like broken down into mind, body, and soul. And when people are like, you do all of that in a day? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, how do you, that sounds like a luxury. How do you find that kind of time? And it's like, I had to learn to invest in me and to set healthy boundaries and make myself a priority because I was allowing these narcissists to have power over me. And now that I've taken my power back, I plan on keeping it.
Good. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you. Like I said, Bait and Switch is now going to be my new anthem. So
thank you. Have you heard Listen?
No, not yet.
Oh, please check out Listen. It's the first song off of my album, Where I'm At. We shot a video for it, directed by me. Hello.
Awesome.
Thank you. I had help. I didn't, nobody's does anything by themselves, even though with the pandemic, I had to do hair, makeup, all this stuff. And I had to write the treatment and whatnot. And my manager helped me do that. He helps me keep me organized, which is really great. And tries to motivate me. Like, come on, Mello. It's like, oh man, can you leave me alone? Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the phone. But there's stressful moments and stuff. But you know what? There's nothing better than watching an idea come from being in your head to being physical, where you can see it, hear it, share it. Other people can hear it and see it. It's so exciting. It brings me back to the first time I ever heard my song being played on the radio. And it was coming from somebody else's car. And I had to wind down my window like, oh my gosh, it's coming from somebody else's car. It's not just me blasting my demo, So it's so exciting. And it's like confirmation that I'm on the right path. It's confirmation that other people will appreciate your accomplishments and enjoy the things that you enjoy. You attract like-minded people with the things that you create.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of being an individual. And that's the beauty of you being you, me being me, us all being individuals and bringing something to the table that nobody else has to offer.
I love, and I love what you said at the beginning about that idea that you had in your head and watching it come to life, because everything happens twice, right? First, it happens in our visual. And for people who are spiritual, it happens in the spiritual first, right? There's that image that needs to be created first. And then if you can create it in your mind, you can make that a reality. Because once you
Yes.
created it in your mind, it now brings it from a fantasy or whatever to now a possibility.
Exactly.
And then it can happen in real life. So I love that. I love that.
Thank you. I love that too. I'm having such a good time with you. You're my new best friend. I'm your new
girl,
stalker.
I got you. Totally resonate with everything you're saying. I feel you. So, okay, before we go to the final segment of the show, I want you to tell people where they could stay connected with you online.
Oh, you can find me at melaniedurant.com. All my social handles are there, including like my YouTube, it's Melanie Durant. My Instagram, Melanie Durant. Facebook, Melanie Durant Music. Or if you just want to be my Facebook friend and follow, it's just Melanie Durant. But yeah, you can follow me on Spotify, Apple Music. But like I said, to make it simple, go to melaniedurant.com and you'll find the links to everything.
Awesome. So I will have the direct links to your website and all your socials in the detailed section of the episode so they can just click and connect with you directly.
Excellent.
Awesome. Okay, so for the final segment of the show, I call it a walk in her wisdom. It's almost like a rapid fire, but I seem to like break my own rules all the time. So, so you can answer whether it be one word or one sentence. Sometimes I may ask you to unpack.
Okay.
All right.
Let's try it.
Okay, let's go. How has motherhood changed you?
Ooh, it taught me things that I was not thinking about, but you don't think about things the same way when it's just you. When you have another person who's looking out for, or who you're looking after, and that's your responsibility, it broadens your horizons in so many different ways. You want to protect them, you want to nurture them, you want to teach them, you want to groom them, and I just mean like hair and clothes and, make sure they're perfect. Nose is not running, but it's attention to detail. And it just opened up my world of love. It made my love stronger. It made my aura stronger, brighter. I'm so in love with my daughter. And she's such a gift and so amazing. She wows me every day. And yeah, so I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. Love it. Okay. What failure has taught you the most about life?
That's a hard one. The first thing that pops in my mind is when I was signed to Motown, I ended up getting shelved. And that was really kind of devastating because it felt like I was being invalidated. It felt like I was being told I wasn't good enough, which was really devastating. I cried a bit in the shower, honestly, I did. But before I even signed my contract, I asked, how do I get out of it? And my lawyer slowly looked up from the paperwork and said, you're smart. And I said, oh, well, thank you. But how do I get out of it? Like, I'm not signing that. And what are the consequences? You know what I mean? So, I ultimately did sign and I ultimately did get shelved, which is what I was afraid of in the first place. But because I asked the question from the jump, I knew what to do next. So it did teach me that I don't necessarily need a label. They're not validating me. They signed me and shelved me. So actually, I think that meant, if anything, I was in the way of something else they wanted to put out. And I was going to cast my light too brightly and overshadow that. So they paid me to go sit down.
Wow.
So as much as that made me feel invalidated at the time, ultimately that was validation. It's like, you're badass. Go sit down. Here's some money. Right?
Right.
So it's going back perspective.
Yeah.
All over again. What's your perspective? And where are you sitting mentally? Are you in the, oh, I'm devastated, or wow, I'm a queen?
Yeah.
I'm a queen. That was empowerment. That was a lot of money too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's all in how you look at it. So that was a big lesson. As for was it the best, the hardest lesson in life? I don't know. Probably not. But because, music is so important to me, and doing a show with my mom where we do Diana Ross and the Supremes and a whole bunch of Motown legends, the legendary ladies of soul. When Motown called me to sign me in the first place, so excited. I felt so validated. So to kind of be shelved, I felt invalidated and violated.
I can't even imagine. And like, you were what, the first Canadian artist to be signed to the Motown label? I
can't say yes, but
I read that somewhere. That's why I was saying.
I'm such a hermit, like I said before. I don't go out. I don't know what other people are doing. I really was trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. And a lot of times I'm told, hey, Mello, that's my nickname. Mello, got to look around at what's going on and stop focusing on you. But it's like, why?
Why? Right? Because then that causes people to compare, and then you feel less of yourself instead of being your authentic self and doing what you truly desire to do on the inside, rather than being influenced by what other people are doing.
Exactly. I mean, there's no problem with going to check and, enjoying and whatever, but going to check to compete or to see if your whatever, is up to par. Yeah. No, that's already on a down. That's already a negative, Yeah. No, whatever you're doing it from your heart. You're motivated. You feel good about it. You're on the right path. Keep going. Don't watch what everybody else is doing.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So on that note, what impact do you want to make on the world?
Upon writing this album, I wanted to make music that people could relate to. I wanted to make music that could resonate with others and that they felt connected to. So to make music that I felt connected to in the first place, because as we were talking about, it all starts with yourself. It all starts here. Look around, embrace, smell the flowers, and deliver the message. So I feel like that's what I did. I feel so happy about it. This is my best work yet. I believe this album is a listen from top to bottom, no fillers. And I got inspired for this in the first place because 20 years ago, I was in a musical called Rent. And we toured Canada for a year. And in the last month, Divine Brown went on mat leave. And they had auditioned right across Canada. And so they started looking within the States. And who they hired ended up being Jill Scott. And we became very good friends. And she put me on to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And we would listen to that and go to work every day. We'd walk to work and sing and, and it's like, whoa, what an experience. So, I mean, Jill Scott puts out amazing music and beautiful stuff. At the time, she hadn't put out anything. She wasn't like officially Jill Scott that we all know. I mean, even though she's Jill, she's always going to be Jill. But who would have thought, right?
Right.
It gave me a higher standard for my music and for writing. And I hadn't even put out anything yet. But as a singer, I've always been able to sing, remember from kindergarten and stuff like that. But nobody's going to hand you something. You don't get Whitney Houston's writers. You don't get, you know what I mean? You got to figure it out yourself. So I started just trying to write anything because it's like, okay, I can sing. What are you going to do about it? You got to create your own avenues and stuff like that. Like where cover's going to take you. I don't know. So I wrote my own album. I love doing it and I love the experience, but I can see the growth from album to album. I can hear the growth and you could feel it within the storytelling. It's like, finally, I did what I was trying to do,
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So I feel so empowered and grateful and excited to see what's next. And I'm just hoping that I can get this album out to enough people to hear it, to appreciate it, to stream it on Spotify. Buy it if you want. I got a limited edition vinyl. I know this is just, they can't see, but you could see.
Love it. I can see it. I love it.
I'm so proud of it. And you know what? If by chance, actually, words have power. No, I'm proud of it. And I have to look within me. And that's what I'm going to say.
I love it. Last but not least, what do you wish women would do more of?
Embrace each other. Embrace each other. We should be the woman gang. Gang. Yes. And there should be no men to stand between us or to pit us against each other or to, I want all women to fix each other's crowns.
Yes. I love it. Melanie, thank you so much.
Gang.
I even love that you said that. That's the name of my group chat with my kids.
Oh, I love it.
I totally resonate with everything you've said today. I love the inspiration for your new album. I think everybody needs to go out and listen. And I just want to thank you for just sharing space with me today and sharing your wisdom with the ladies that are listening. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. I hope I didn't talk through everything.
No.
I told you.
This is your time. This is about you. This is all about you, girl.
Thank you. And you didn't even tell me shut up once.
No. And I won't do that. Your voice matters. Your story matters.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. And to all of you legacy leavers out there, until next time, subscribe on all platforms. Don't forget to rate the show and leave us a review on Apple Podcast. And I want to thank each and every single one of you that continue to listen each week, that help us to rank globally in top charts all over the world, especially being the top 1.5% most popular show out of over 2.7 million podcasts. So thank you. And if you could think of, I'm challenging you to 3 women right now. If you could think of 3 women that would receive value from hearing Melanie's story, please share it with them. Feel free to share this week's episode on social media, and you can tag both Melanie and myself and let us know what resonated with you. You can tag Melanie at Melanie Durant. You can tag myself at The Real McKinney Smith, and continue to walk in greatness in your stilettos in a manner worthy of your calling.